Hi guys, GB News visited the town of Boston, which was a massive supporter of Brexit at the referendum back in 2016. One of the reporters asked a local butcher about the hot potato issue of immigration. Now the guest explained how local people used to do the jobs on farms, but they're now being carried out by foreign labour. The reporter also tried to shoehorn in the issue of falling education standards, which I presume the journalist is linking to immigration. But what does Boston think of immigration post-Brexit? Have a listen.
So we just to explain to people at home, like, why this area is so attractive to migrants. It's largely because of the farming opportunities, the agriculture. About, I think, a third of the vegetables that we consume in this country are grown actually in this area. Arguably, those farms, those agricultural industries need low-paid workers to come in.
No, not low-paid workers. They need workers. Some of the work is low-paid. Not all of the work is low-paid. And generally, the work starts out low-paid, but the better you get at doing the job, the more money you earn. But very strange angle.
And do that work?
Yeah, but we used to do all that. We used to do it, like work on the land, work in the pack houses. You used to, when I left school, you earned good money, piecework, but that's all gone now. They work longer hours than us, and they just don't want it.
So she's explained the problem here. Foreign workers, immigrants, were willing to work longer hours. So we used to do the work. Some of us decided we wanted to do something else. So the pool of workers was reduced. But the work needed to be done. So farmers, in this case, or manufacturers or hospitality, relied on foreign labour because they were willing to put in the extra effort. Not my words, her words. They were willing to work extra hours. So this is the reason.
They say we don't want work, but we actually do, but there's not enough work for us to get because they have it.
But you just said... Oh my God. Okay. You've just said that they were willing to work extra hours, they were willing to put in the extra effort, and that's why they were hired. And now you're saying, well, there's no work because they have the jobs. Well, then the obvious solution is, say, well, we will work more hours. We will compete with the foreign labour, and we will work more hours. We will put in more effort. Why aren't people doing that?
I was hearing an interesting anecdote about the schools locally, because you've got the old-fashioned grammar school system here, haven't you? You can sit your 11 plus and go to the state single-sex schools even. So normally those schools have fantastic educational attainment in Buckinghamshire and Berkshire, where we have that same system. But here the children are graded down with, the universities can accept lower grades from them because they're what they call contextualised grades, because they see them as in the context of this community. The education standards have fallen. Is that, do you think, because so many students don't have English as a first language?
What? What's that got to do with... First go-to is, because the students don't speak English. It's nothing to do with Tory cuts over the last 13 years. Like, education, funding in public education has dropped over the last 13 years. No, let's blame the immigrant students. Now, I know of, I have a friend of mine who works in a school here in Italy, and a lot of the foreign students are from North Africa and from Eastern Europe. And not on every subject and not every student, but generally they do better, both in English and in other core subjects, than the local students do. Now, I'm not saying this is true for every student, but there seems to be a strong work ethic. You know, study hard at school. Don't skive off. Don't mess about. Put your head down. Study. Work hard, and you'll be able to attain something. This is the general feeling, it seems, when it comes to students from Eastern Europe and North Africa. Not all, but generally the case. But what the problem in Britain is not the students. The problem is cuts to education.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of different students. Teachers have got a lot to do, aren't there? A lot of different languages to learn. So I suppose it's hard. And I know a lot of the schools are struggling around here, short-staffed and that, because my friends...
There we have it, short-staffed. It's not not the students' fault. It's not the immigrants' fault if the schools are short-staffed. Who is ultimately responsible there? It's the Department of Education.
And he's at one of the schools, and I know they're struggling to get everything done for the kids.
So for the town that voted for Brexit, 75% of people here voted for Brexit. Just remind us why at the time that was such a popular vote.
because they thought they was going to send them home, didn't they? But obviously they haven't, and more's come, and what people's lost the faith in it all, haven't they? What's the point?
So what was the point of Brexit? We were told by Nigel Farage, Jacob Rees-Mogg, Boris Johnson and others that if we vote to leave, we'll get rid of all these foreigners. And that didn't happen. Now, unfortunately, Boston, the town, still supports Brexit, still thinks Brexit was a good idea, according to polling. It has declined somewhat, but it still seems to be supportive of Brexit. But you were told, and this is a very important question to ask, why did nobody in the town challenge people like Nigel Farage, Boris Johnson, or whatever Brexiteers visited in 2016 and told people everything would be wonderful? The sunlit uplands are just beyond the horizon. Why did nobody actually ask, who's going to do the work? We're going to send all these foreigners away, the ones who work in the fields, the ones who have taken over from British workers. Who is actually going to do the jobs? Now, if that question was asked, I'm pretty sure the answer was, don't worry about it, or British people will do the jobs. All these young people who are, students, or all these unemployed people, we're going to force them out into the fields and they're going to pick the fruit and vegetables and work in the hospitality and work in care homes and stuff like that. Really? That, was that the response? Because I never heard actually any real response or any real question like that being asked of Nigel Farage in particular.
There'll be another election next year. How do you think people will vote in this town?
I don't think they will. I think that obviously they'll vote to be out, but I don't think you'll get...
What do you mean, vote to be out? Brexit has happened. The UK left the EU. What does that mean, vote to be out?
Much off many of them. I think they've lost faith in it all.
So
it's been took over, hasn't it?
So you just feel like it's just kind of a political lethargy, like nobody really cares anymore.
Who cares? What do they care? They don't have to live in it. They're just like...
What do you mean, live in it? Is she still talking about immigration here? They don't have to live in it. Who doesn't have to live in what? Then she should be... Once again, I really don't understand. If these people had a big problem with immigration and still have a big problem with immigration, why are they not angry with the people who lied to them? The people who said everything will be wonderful. We'll get rid of all these people. Nigel Farage in particular. Why are these people not angry with Nigel Farage? They still believe his rhetoric when he says, it's nothing to do with me. It's the Tories' fault.
Send you lot to do a report and this is how it is. It doesn't make no difference to us. We live in it day in, day out, don't we?
What's a bit baffling to me, I was looking at some of the immigrants this morning who had just sort of arrived at the coffee shop, sitting outside having a cigarette in the morning, and I was talking to somebody as to why they're able to stay. Am I right in thinking that there are employment agencies around here, and if you arrive on a holiday visa, say from Bulgaria, you can arrive for 2 weeks, you go straight to the employment agency and get a local job, and then your rights change?
I don't know. I know there's a lot of employment agencies. I don't know about the rights changing because I've...
Look, at least she's honest to say, look, I don't know what the hell you're talking about here. And what is she talking about here? So she's suggesting that people arrive on a holiday visa. So these are not boat people. These are not people crossing the channel in rubber boats. These are people arriving on a holiday visa. And then they're staying, which is possible, that they're finding jobs in the local area that British people don't want to do. Okay, as was pointed out earlier in this interview. So they're finding jobs. And this, of course, is breaking the rules because you're breaking the terms of your visa. You're not supposed to work. But then this begs the question, why isn't the government doing something about this? And why aren't they punishing the companies who are hiring people who are undocumented? Like, the focus is always on the immigrants are bad. These are the bad people, not the companies who are hiring them. The companies who are breaking the law. People are breaking the terms of their visa, but the companies who hire them are breaking the law. And these companies are not, it seems, are not being punished. Or very few. Now, why are they not being punished? Because the Tories over the last 13 years have cut public services, have cut funding, for example, to services to crack down on this. Of course, they'll do a few PR exercises and stunts where they, arrive with their body armor and stuff with, DWP or whatever to crack down on some things. It's a PR stunt. But they're not punishing the companies, it seems. These companies are getting away with it. Once again, the focus is on the immigrants, not the people who are hiring them, the people who are really breaking the law here. Boston voted for Brexit, and Boston still thinks Brexit is a good idea, it seems. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.